Yes, guys. We still live.
All right.
Guys, yeah.
All right.
Don't open it, Alexis. To be able to see the comments. Right. Kira, we still live on Facebook, so it's fine.
Same as well.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we still living, Scott. Alright. Just want to welcome everybody to our first show, DeBrief, which is basically a conversation show. A show that brings all the topics, a show that debates, debrief, break down things, because many times we see things out there, we hear things being said, so then we don't understand what is being said because they say it's such a large context. So this show is all about bringing that that what we hear on a day-to-day basis down on a level that everybody could understand, and that's the reason for debrief. Now here with me, and would always be here with us when it comes to debrief. I'll start first with the gentleman in the yellow shirt, Jeremy Bedford.
Thank you.
Next to him is Simon Ali,
All right.
no
Hello.
stranger to us. Kimar Stewart on my immediate right, and on my immediate left is Demani Small.
Yeah, good evening.
We are your hosts for the show Debrief. This show is going to be brought to you every Wednesday and Saturday at 6 o'clock. We're sorry for the late start, but you could appreciate we're now, starting out, and we really wanted to show that it's no starting out. We really wanted to bring to you earlier, but technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Now we want to invite everybody to share the link. We're going to be talking about a number of topics pertaining to what's going on in our society. So we encourage you to share the link. Talk with us. If you have any questions, if you have any queries, any concerns, anything like that, just share. Feel free. It's a friendly atmosphere. We're just conversating here. For now, we will get heated at some point. But one of the big things that we really want to talk about today, for the first of the show, is what we are seeing going on as it relates to Hurricane Dorian. We know that a couple of days ago it had passed Barbados as a storm, but now it's strengthened to be one of the worst hurricanes coming down in history, from what I'm being told. And we know that a number of persons are bringing relief. So we really want to talk about it and ask if we are really in a place to be acceptance to what is going on. We really want to know if it's acceptance to it. So we really want to know what's going on. I muted you. So I really wanted to know what's going on. We really wanted to know what's going on in Barbados. If you're hearing any glitches, any technical difficulty, you can't hear us, please let us know. Just write, I can't hear you, whatever the case may be, but share the link. So we just want to get into some conversation with the co-host here about what is going on and what's our thought really on when Dorian passed us, and what is our thought as it's strengthening, is going toward Florida now. Our heart goes out to our Caribbean brothers and sisters in the Bahamas, and our heart goes out to the international body countries such as Florida and all those countries that is targeted. So we really want to give our prayers and our support, and we see a number of people nowadays out there from the BDF and to the Democratic Party, and a number of persons out there want to lend support.
Yeah, that's
So we think that's great, and we support anybody that's going to support these countries for sure. So really want to give that support and give that help. Yeah. And the Prime Minister is also going down. So anything that we can give, and anybody that can give anything, please go ahead and lend your support wherever. Let's not polarize it or anything like that. The volume is low. Turn up the volume.
Yeah, the volume is low.
So again, thank you for the feedback, so that we can get persons. Volume is good. Yeah, it's good.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Wonderful. So let's start off the discussion, gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
What you guys thought about Dorian passing us, and do you think that as a country we were ready? We see past hurricanes.
Correct.
You know, we see
Tropical
past
storms.
tropical storms. But
That's
what
right.
do you thought? What are your thoughts about Dorian and when Dorian passed us? You know, some people thought it would have hit us worse.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that we went overboard as a country in preparing. What are your thoughts, gentlemen? Let's talk. Let's debrief.
Oh.
All right, Jermaine, you want to start off?
No, Simon, I will give
All
it
right,
to
you
you
give it
as a
over to me.
preacher.
Well, I think that when it comes to disaster preparedness, we be on the sides of continuum. We tend to be reactionary. We look at the post impact, and I think that right now there's a greater emphasis on the pre-impact activities. I think that one of the things I will have to commend is the level of communication regarding the what to do, the hurricane shelters, and so on, leading up to the passage of Dorian. I think it's very important for all the sector agencies. A big shout out to the Department of Emergency Management, DEM, led by Miss Carrie Hines. I think she and her team did a good job in terms of coordinating the national mechanism. That's very important because DEM is responsible for bringing all the emergency appliances and agencies together to work together harmoniously. So in terms of GIS, in terms of communication, in terms of CDC, in terms of the standing up of the National Emergency Operations Center to allow us to have information about what's going on, that's important. And one thing that all the public said is that, you know what, we were more aware. And leadership is a very important thing too. We have to give Jack his jacket, or you have to say, well, what went right. And I think that in terms of the Prime Minister's role, in terms of getting her message out to the public, the message went out clearly, and I think people understood what they had to do. I think whenever there is a national shutdown, there will always be two schools of thought. Of course, when you look at the business side, that's always a business loss or the day possibly lost.
That's better than life lost, though.
Yes, better to lose money than to lose life.
Correct.
Right, that is true. So that's one aspect. And then the other aspect too is making sure that they just understand that preparedness goes beyond let's go into the supermarket, getting some corned beef, getting some biscuits. It's you know that hurricane season is between June to November. You know that you may have some drains in front of you. Mobilize yourself in the community, and that's where the whole aspect of personal responsibility and personal preparedness is important. You got personal preparedness, you got community preparedness, and national preparedness. I think on the national level, things were very good. To some degree, in some communities they were very ready, but in terms of the personal level, they just need to see disaster preparedness at a personal level, and make sure that they're ready.
Just to continue
Definitely.
what you made, Simon. I think the issue of disaster preparedness is a very dynamic one. So if we look at disaster preparedness, I think we should plan before it actually gets
Of course.
to the actual fact of a hurricane approaching the country. There's always the issue of building codes and building standards, and if our houses, or the houses that we built traditionally today, can withstand the impacts of
That's right.
different categories of hurricanes and what's
True.
not. The issue of hurricane straps and the issue of hurricane materials actually built into our homes, and if the current state of our homes can withstand hurricanes, I think it needs to be a national effort from the level of government to mandate that any houses being built in this day and age has to be built to the required standards to withstand impacts of hurricanes, and to get new homeowners onto this feature, and also the issue of home insurance to protect
That's
from
right.
the
Yeah,
loss.
because the government can mandate you to have home insurance, and that's something at the level of personal responsibility.
No, it will not be mandated, but just to
There should be something there, though. There should be something
No,
there.
I agree with you, but
Correct.
I understand what you are saying, right? And I agree with you fully, right? However, where I tend to have a problem is where people always are dependent on the government to do everything. The government's job is to facilitate or regulate. The government is supposed to be all in business.
Right, but if you regulate something like that, I think whenever you look around, there's a lot of people, especially like a lot of the board houses or community houses, that do not have insurance. A lot of people think that because you have a timber house, that it doesn't have a value. It has a value.
The contents
The contents
in the
and
house.
the value, because you
That's
could
right.
you could see that some houses as small as you think it may be 50, 60, 70,000.
Yeah.
You know, my next door neighbor didn't know that his house was worth 70,000 until he went to get it insured to get somebody below the jail.
The
Alright.
house already done.
The house, not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
jail.
yeah.
So only it took that somebody had to get him below the jail
Mhm.
for him to know that the value, because he always saw his house as 20,000, 15,000.
Yeah, because men just get up and
Yeah, but it has a-
you gotta get something.
It has a
It
value.
has a value.
No matter
So I think
how
that's
far you
important that
come.
even in this time we look at insuring.
Yes.
But insurance
But
is
you
not
think the insurance
expensive.
prices in Barbados are reasonable?
But when I saw his, I was told that his was only $700 a year.
But insurance,
But you know,
but
$600 $700 a year for a house that
But that's
value.
small.
But no, you see, no, that's where you have a conflict, right? Because
Tell me.
I find that some of the insurance companies in Barbados, well, I don't want to knock them
Mm.
because I think they try their best given the circumstances, even though these might be better times come. Right? You wouldn't want to admit that, sir, but these are bad times now,
So you
right?
say, go ahead.
So I know,
Fair enough.
right? You will see your blue times that they are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I know Barbados is not in the red. Barbados is going red forward, but no, we're not. Right?
Mm.
Insurance companies in Barbados, I believe, need to become more competitive with their pricing,
For sure.
right? And recognize that by allowing yourselves to keep some of your prices so high, you are mostly driving out a large part of the market.
That's right.
Now, whilst we're here talking about insurance companies and insuring properties, we're talking about disaster preparedness.
That's
and,
That's definitely
hurricanes and all sorts of stuff.
That's right.
You know, recently there was a conversation in Barbados over the squatters.
Squatters, yeah,
right?
right.
Now, the question I would ask y'all: if a hurricane came to Barbados tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and you know it mashed up everybody's property,
Mhm.
right? Because regardless of if you live in a house that you built on legal land or illegal land, it is still where you rest your head at night.
That's right.
In your opinion, well, I know. Let me not ask your opinions because I don't want to put anybody on the spot,
Mm.
right? But should the government be responsible for rebuilding the houses for squatters?
I think there's a saying that
Hold
goes.
on, stop. First off, where will they rebuild it? On the same land that you
Because
But
there are lots
you
of houses
see,
out there.
They got two sides. Look, they got two sides to that story, right?
Uh-huh.
We like to talk about the law and legal stuff, and you know, you want to make sure that you're in the right. But if you think about Barbados, Barbados is one big squatting country because because when the slave masters came to Barbados originally, they took away land that belonged to the
get no
Arawaks
history
that
there.
were
You
here.
get
No,
rid of
you
that
get
one.
rid of Arawaks
saying the word, man. Come on, man.
Jermaine, let's go back to the question. Let's go back to the question before we go down to slavery lane. When you're talking about, from my opinion, if you're talking about rebuilding a house in a hurricane on illegal, I would not rebuild it on illegal.
Of course
land.
not.
But
Because
so
I would look to compensate you somewhere else.
But I would give you a credit. This is what we do
But
as a
so
government.
you
I
get
would give
credit.
you a credit
Uh-huh.
towards a new house or towards paying rent in a house that is provided by government.
but I think
that's all good.
also the flip
But
side
where
to
will
that-
the house be rebuilt?
Somewhere else.
Somewhere
It can't-
else.
But hold on. Let's
Because
say
the-
Let's say this.
But tomorrow you can squat.
Let's say this.
No.
Here. No. Let's say this. You build.
No.
Let's say this here.
I want free house.
You build a house on a squatter's land that has slippage,
Yeah.
and that land falls apart.
Correct.
What you want me to build it back on a fall apart?
It
Now?
can't go
No,
back
it
there.
can't build. So
And where you would have built the house before, you don't have to pay insurance, you don't have to pay this and that.
Uh-huh.
When we put you in a structure now, understand that you have to follow regulations.
Wait, I wasn't following it before.
But that's it. But let's
And
a
you
government
want
that
me to- you
cares,
want
a
to
government
get
that
that
is
every-
caring,
I
is
would
not going to allow, even if the person is squatting,
I would love
we're not
to.
going to allow families, because you don't think about the children too. We're not going to allow
You know, it's funny.
squatters.
It's funny
You
to
don't
talk
think
about a government that's caring, right? Because you know.
Kieran, you have to be Kieran
Right.
responsible.
You gotta be exactly.
Because I knew of a
Exactly.
government. I have seen many governments in this country over the years.
Of course, three.
Right.
At least three. Come on, you're the old man. At least three.
Well,
Shit about administration.
I just want to tell
Step
all the
forward.
listeners,
Step
all the
forward.
listeners out there, please feel free to join in the conversation.
Let's do
It
it.
is about
Well-
hurricane. We're talking about Dorian and its impact, but you don't know. This is conversation,
so you can
and we wanted to bring what we normally bring in a chat
to
Oh,
to
it's
talk
true.
show. So
It's
please,
true.
feel free to join on with us.
That's
Yes,
true.
Jermaine.
right. So what I was saying, right? You it's like when you could smile.
Yes.
You would know what you would smile, right? You know, you turn up everywhere in a blue shirt and all sorts, right? Right, but
Still wearing blue.
I know you're still wearing blue, and I still going yellow. This is actually the color of both political parties in Barbados.
Yeah, well, we can unite on that. We can unite on that then.
Let's go, Jermaine.
Right, but the issue of squatters and disaster preparedness.
Serious.
Over the years, I find that a lot of governments have played around this topic.
I agree.
Now, finally, I think this particular government in power.
Decisive action should be taken.
No, I'm sure it's fully decisive,
We hope so.
but I will say that at least there is an intention to try to bring some form of regularization and try to deal with the issue.
Of course.
Unlike previous governments that seem to be asleep for their whole term, right? But that is another issue for another day,
Yes.
right? This issue of the squatters must be dealt with, and I deal with it now because man, look at Bahamas and here 13,000 houses get destroyed.
That's right.
I mean, let's be real. That storm passed Barbados and it could have hit Barbados.
That's right.
And if it did hit Barbados, believe it or not, the first houses that would be in danger would be those houses up in Raw and the different squatting communities in Barbados.
That's right.
Given the fact that they are not more or less grounded by concrete in the ground.
Right.
That's right.
Right? So
There's a question.
we have
Right.
to
To hold top pause for the question. Alex, just give us the question there.
Why the
Give us a
government
question.
should have to do anything?
Whoa, boy. Well, the reality of it is that government has the responsibility to all of its citizens.
Why the government should have to do anything?
Well, the government should have to do anything. But as I said before, the government has a responsibility to all its
You-
citizens.
yeah.
So even if it means you gotta put people right, I am not saying that government is supposed to give squatters money. I'm not saying that government is supposed to give squatters houses. But what government has to do is to solve that problem. Because, for example,
But what
if
was
if a major fire, even if it's not a hurricane, if a major fire happens in a squatting community that doesn't have access to proper water or whatever, or even the fire truck can't get up in the squatters community because there's no proper rural roads and people die in the hundreds or in the 20s and so on. It will become a major issue.
I think
But you know that hold on, there was a previous government. He spoke about water, access to water. There was a previous government in this country where the National Petroleum Corporation has a facility I think out near the Bell. Not up in Bush Hall side.
Okay.
Right. And they said that they wanted their facility secured. Now, the squatters in that area were going and illegally accessing their water, right? And doing because
It was alleged.
Oh,
Yeah.
I going based off what I saw in local print media.
Okay.
Okay.
The squatters were going and accessing their water, and obviously I would understand because you know you're a human being. They got to bathe, they got to
Cook food.
you got to use it for sanitary purposes. So they wanted water, and no water means were run to them, right? There was then a former member of parliament, and funny enough, it was from both sides of the aisle, who told the people, go and get the water. So leaders, political leaders in this country have been very complicit in allowing this situation to fester.
For votes.
Yes, for votes. And the funny thing is that you're talking about major disaster if something was to happen, right? But if you have encouraged people, on one side of the coin, you got to help them.
True.
But on the other side of the coin, you cannot allow people to just blatantly break the law
That's right. I
and get
agree.
away with it.
I agree.
But we gotta look at human life.
That's right.
Just to bring an economic perspective to the issues that you guys just raised. The issue of squatting to me is just a practice of economic mismanagement as it relates to housing policy. You know, if we push a policy of cheap and affordable housing in Barbados, I think persons will be more inclined to be able to afford a house. Currently, the housing prices are above the average rate of.
But actually quite low still, keep on.
Just give me a minute to understand the context.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Even if you name their law, there's still a wide cross section of persons who still can't afford them at this lower price rate. No, you know, the issue of water. We currently have a monopoly over water in the country through the Barbados Water Authority, right? Not that I'm promoting a private sale of water, or not that I am promoting a breakup of that monopoly, but if you have one company in control of the water, they may not have the adequate resources to properly manage the water, so that persons who may not be able to have access to the water, right, they may not have the resources to properly man that. In terms of know where there's still water scarce communities and persons are having challenges with getting water,
Yeah.
that issue with the economics and the monopoly, which is actually stifling innovation of the water authority, that could be hampering.
But the
issues
question,
as well.
to that though, Kimar, would be: I hear you talking about the economics of it in terms of not being not being able to offset affordable houses. I think that the only challenge I will have to that is that we can fight on this here. The reason why I see a lot of these squatting based on what I've seen in the news
Yeah.
was, to my mind, not based on affordability.
What was based on?
Because some of them people was building some real big houses.
I agree.
So what I saw, I think people want, I like this here, when a rat move in, it is moving a family. So I think what I saw, it was a case that people,
rats.
no,
No, it's not saying that.
in
It's not that.
context. Once a rat move in, it going for children, it going, and it bring a lot, and it bring a lot in the area. That's
So
all
how many
rat.
cats come around?
Well, but you're not enough cats in these towns. But here the thing is, when you see what was happening, it was like a chain reaction. I moved there first. I tell Kimar tell Simon, tell Jermaine, tell the man, and other people start to move in.
But
And we built 2-story houses, 3-story houses.
they got 2-story houses.
I just using it economy, but I'm just saying
Oh,
to you,
Lord, boy.
when you even see the news carrying it,
Uh-huh.
you saw these really big houses. I didn't really see bad houses and that. I mean, in houses that clean.
But
I saw some.
To be fair, they
houses.
even got people who come out to those communities who said they're lawyers and all sorts.
I heard people. I heard
right.
people was even building 3 and 4 and renting it out.
Yeah.
So I just
But you know,
go back on-
you know what was serious?
yeah, but just to go back on Kimar's question,
Uh-huh.
is it in
Really
this
economic.
case here where you're talking about squatting? Is it really a case of economics, or is it a case of the mismanagement which you're saying that could lead to that?
But
I just want
hold on,
Kimar
Kimar.
clear.
Before we say anything, Kimar, I want you to bear this in mind as well. There was a past government in this country, and then there were other past governments who had one form or another of a program called Help Every Last
House
Person.
every last person.
Or house, but
Yeah.
he would know it quite well.
Former
Because
minister.
it was
It
the former. You sure he was a good minister?
I said the former minister.
Oh,
I said the former minister.
I was
Don't-
sorry to say.
don't get
I
it.
can say that, but I can see houses. I can see houses
But you know,
built.
the funny thing is,
I can
right?
see houses built. That's what I can see.
When seeing that program in its very informed schema, right? And I am agree with you, economic mismanagement, right? I think that it was really sad when you had a program to help poor people with housing, and only certain types of people were able to be helped. To the point where you heard about Surdis and Surda getting Surdis.
I
You
understand.
understand? So, you know,
But it comes on into regulation and management. It goes back to what I want to hear what Kimar has to say on
I
this.
definitely want to hear Kimar go because I know Kimar, unlike you, Simon, is going to be very unbiased,
I'm biased.
and he's going to be very fair in his assessment. You know,
But you asked me a
is
question
thinking-
about you asked me a question about houses. All I said to you is that I can see the houses that were built under the last administration.
You can,
I can see them.
but where it is,
I can see them.
Where are people living in now?
All I know is that the last administration built houses. That is not totally true. I mean,
It's not
students,
totally false.
I have students from Ross University are even benefiting from houses up in COVID.
Really?
So let's continue.
Houses
let's
that
be
regular
real.
pages
All right.
did not.
Let me get back Kimar.
We're all
Let me
there
go
are
there.
a lot of housing solutions in this country
For
that
who?
were built under the last administration.
You sure about that?
But I don't want to go into that argument right
Yes,
now.
let's
But
hear
you feel
Kimar.
on that.
I
Hold
don't
on.
think so at all.
Mr.
Houses were
Efron,
built.
you see, this is all about DeBrief. Again, Barbadians listening,
Houses were built.
if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We will definitely highlight
Not
them.
Germany. Germany don't have a housing. The houses were built. We
Moving
saw
in on the
houses.
housing leader?
I saw houses.
All right, sir. Kimar, give us your point of view.
Well, I know from experience when trying to access land, right, most of the time you can't afford the money straight off the bat. So, you know, you have to get a bank loan,
That's
credit
right.
unions, whatever financing institution.
And the banks is an SS trust.
That's another set of
You would know with that.
No, yeah, no. The issue is if you happen to get on the land, you know, you have some money, you're able to do a small piece here.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree.
Then you will get money coming in, you will do another piece, and then
Yeah.
you will build until, you know, possibly 5 years past, then you get an entire home.
Mhm.
I agree.
No, you're on squatting land, so you can't access money from the credit unions, you can't get
It's out of pocket.
government help. But the fact that
You get offered $20,000 more.
right, but this is the afterthought, right? The fact
I
that
agree. You
persons
afterthought.
living on the land have electricity and water means somebody in power had to
Cable.
help them,
Of course.
Right.
Mhm.
right? So that means that the government fostered the problem too.
Of course.
And now,
The government is fully responsible for your problem. All governments.
Yeah.
yes, so the idea of offering $25,000,
20.
that no,
Mhm.
I mean that's
So late.
it's too late now
Too
to
late.
try to ask persons who would have spent that big lot of money to take $25,000. Although you were wrong in the first place,
You're wrong.
right? So
Still
But
When
hold
you
on,
first
Bobby,
offer.
I want to hear your views on it, or because again we're still dealing with the hurricane, but the squatters is a really important topic,
True.
and it does affect the fact that these persons are living on a
It was a dump.
dump.
It was a dump.
And
And
it
you know
could
that
be
the
affected.
proximity to the airport.
Yeah, and the proximity to the airport.
Airport.
But
But
you realize if a plane crashes
Of
or
course.
it comes in there and come too low, that means we got a major catastrophe there.
it will, because
Yeah.
again they say if when you look at houses, right? Anytime you look at a house somewhere, even though you may let's say the point as an example.
Mhm.
Let's say the point has let's say 1,000 units.
Yeah.
1,000 units still equates to about 3,000 to 5,000 people, you know.
Mhm.
Because people live in large
Families.
numbers and families. You're talking about children and
I never use your analogy, Lord.
large, you know.
No, you know, it does look.
Yeah.
What you say what?
You don't want to hear what he said.
Again, people, what we
Very
have to
much so.
appreciate is that when you bring some different people with different political views, you do get a
little friction.
rattle and
I'm
a
very
friction.
unbiased.
But it's
I'm
very,
very
yeah.
objective on all
I think
that.
Everyone say he's
very
unbiased,
objective.
but
I
we think
it's a little
different.
bit objective.
Any views from you guys,
Objective
please
BLC member.
feel bring it. As well, I said we are talking about Dorian and its impact. I know it would have been mixed views out there
Of course.
as it relates to the handling of it, in terms of we did thought that the Prime Minister went over and above, and we weren't hit the way we should have been.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to get hit with Dorian?
But the thing is,
No.
you know, Barbados has been such a country that has been so saved by, you know, so much hurricanes, so much storms.
That's right.
And I think that for once I felt really prepared
Yeah.
in this
Communication.
storm. Yeah, based on communication, based on what you were hearing constantly. There were constant messages out there. There were constant feedback from all of the agencies, not just one. And I think that was key. And whether or not in my opinion, whether or not we were hit or not, we were so prepared ahead of time.
It's
I
better
know-
to be prepared than not prepared.
Yeah, I heard some people
True.
made mention of the fact that, you know, we had to close at 10 rather than the 12.
Yeah.
But again, what I wanted the Barbadians to appreciate at the time was that you have a hurricane which picks up in speed.
It's not the
Yeah,
second
so
most powerful
if,
hurricane
yeah,
ever.
so if you get 12 o'clock to shut down, but it says 10 because the speed is accelerating and
And
the
plus
storm
to the
is
fact
building.
that we have a situation with a shortage of buses. It would take a while to get people from
But
Bridgetown.
let's-
to home.
But
we
hold
all
on,
know
Simon,
so
Simon,
we
Simon,
all
let
know
me
where the
fair.
shortage of bus
Simon,
came
let me
from.
be fair because
I just mentioned the
for
fact.
the last
I just mentioned the fact.
You know,
I mentioned the fact.
For the last 10
I
years,
mentioned the
for the
fact.
last 10 years,
People were catching buses.
no,
Yes.
no, you
And
don't.
children had free bus fare. Yes.
Yes, they were catching
Yes.
buses, but they were getting to the
Hold on,
destination.
Timur, hold on. For the last 10 years, you weren't in charge of buses, right? But for the last
I
10
just-
years,
I laid this
there
out
were
there.
people in this country being paid $21,000 and $30,000 per month
Good
Mhm.
Lord.
to travel to China and all about the place to go and look at bus
I
parks
can't
that they
recall.
never
I
bought.
have no.
You will
I have
never
no-
recall that.
I have no recollection. I have
You
no
know,
proof
but
of
you know
that.
what? I will say this. We
Yes,
will
please.
wait and we will see. But this is actually month of September.
It's September.
So soon from now,
Yeah, hopefully we see
you will
some
see.
buses.
Even listen,
And also some garbage trucks as well.
Even-
Hopefully.
Well, no, you got 7 garbage trucks, so don't be
Oh,
fair.
7.
You got
Oh, yeah.
7 new garbage trucks, right?
Oh
And
wow. Oh
Even
wow.
if we see one new bus on the road, it is one more than we get in the last 10 years.
Okay, people. You know, again, I just want to separate these two. Again, any question, any query. But yeah, I think it was really important that we did have.
Yeah, I agree.
thing. And yes, we all know the shortage of the buses.
That's right.
And we who
I
fall
don't know. I can't recall.
But at the end of the day, I think that generally people got home, you know, pretty good. I
They
saw
did.
some people walking home,
With
but
some
people did get when they phone. I gave some lifts too as well to get.
You?
Yeah, I gave people
I
lifts.
strangers?
Yes.
Good. That's
Funny
good.
enough, right before the storm, I passed by a local shop in my neighborhood, and you know there were also a lot of guys there sitting down having a beverage because
Beverage,
you
I
needed
see.
to be properly inebriated in
Mm.
the event of a disaster.
I-
But don't mind me.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Kimon.
Right. Issues in which we don't take into consideration as well, besides the fact of hurricanes,
Yeah.
landslides and earthquakes and land
Flooding.
slippage.
Mhm.
I know in what Hill St. Andrew you had persons suffering from the land slippage.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, for what long?
Went through that problem as well.
Mm.
Those people are to be moved.
But
Yeah.
some don't want to move too. That's the issue as
But
well.
this is the thing, it's
Go
not up
ahead.
to your discretion in regards to life. You know, if the government would
Mandates.
take a firm arm and say, well, look, this area is uninhabitable and
Shake my
cannot
hands on that,
live
brother.
The
You
same
got to
thing
do
with
what you
squatters
got
as
to
well.
do.
Exactly.
They need to be forced.
Use policy. You have to use policy and law.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. You gotta mandate it.
And there's also issues in like St. Michael where the houses are so close knit, the area
Yeah.
of flooding and
Sir, even though in
and what's
Walton
not.
and certain places too.
Yes, I know in West Bay Road a lot of the drains
Yeah.
are constantly they
Blocked.
might not fall for a couple of days, but the drains are still full. It's not a proper maintenance plan as it relates to mitigating flooding. Also in Spike Storm there's I know and credit to Simon that the Democratic Party received funding to mitigate flooding in Spike Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Did they actually use it for flooding in space? No, though?
Well, I won't stretch as far as to comment on that.
Because I can show the record where we reflect that the flooding occurred. And
But
then
flooding-
did something else with money.
But
I
in
no,
all
don't
seriousness-
go
in
with
all serious-
speculation though.
No, I get
what
the
I'm
fact,
saying,
brother.
no, listen to what. But sorry,
Let
let's
Kimon
keep on
continue.
continuing. We're gonna get a chance to
These
talk.
politicians here.
In all
We're gonna get a chance to
in
talk.
all seriousness,
Mhm.
the Dems they receive funding from multilateral institutions to mitigate
Yeah, yeah,
problems.
yeah, thing, yeah.
No, one could applaud that regardless of which political party. it
That's
comes
right.
from.
I agree. Getting the money's one
in the
thing.
issue of Spike Storm, I
Mhm.
saw videos of the Prime Minister down there as well.
Yeah.
As it relates to flooding,
Mhm.
they couldn't work down there, and one has to applaud that.
Wait, hold on a
I
second
think
before you go
what-
further, Kimar. With reference to receiving funding, yeah, I think am we correct in saying? Tell me if I read our wrong.
You might be
side, right?
speculating.
I obviously I never used to follow the Dems that much when they were in power because they never really was doing much, right? However, the question that I would ask, when that money was received, it was done. They just not sign off for it.
I can't recall. No, you see, no,
Well,
guys.
I will have to jump in here.
Let's deal with the issues, please.
You're right. In all seriousness,
Let's deal with the issues now.
if we stick to disaster.
They said the issues. Let's not speculate.
I'm not
No
saying
names, please.
Let's not speculate.
Yes.
No, that's not. He was in
And
the
no
same
names.
government.
And no names.
But he was
Let's
in the
not
same
speculate.
government.
Yeah, alright, let Kimon develop, please.
Let me develop this
Kimar.
one. Go ahead, Kimar. Young Kimar.
Issues.
Yeah. So one is to take that. I know in St. James when the rain falls,
Yeah.
you have a heavy flooding
Or
problem.
both Bridgestone and
True.
Bridgestone, St. Michael
No.
area too.
Just to jog your memories a bit, if you can remember the Carusic shooting.
Of
Yeah,
course.
that was unfortunate.
Right. We need to
When
put
the rain is
plans in
falling
place to
interior.
stem that type of activity.
But I saw,
But they are
I saw a
plans in
lot of
place to
in
stem it.
terms of this not
But
only
that's
by
it.
MPW but
That's
communities.
it.
There was also a lot of people that were out there. I know the Prime Minister was spotting left, right, and center. Wherever the media took, you saw excavators, backhoes, and things.
The
I saw
mobilization.
even places that were that they actually bank up extra dirt and extra stuff like that, sandbags. So I think
Yeah.
I think that even the Spice Town project you're talking about, I saw when I saw the videos with the Prime Minister and other people, I saw that excavators
Technocrats.
and things were.
Correct.
I saw that
were
3 years ago
moving.
when storms are kind of barbarous.
But the storms of this
No,
the storm of this
but-
magnitude was different.
But yeah,
Oh, we had a storm for 10 years that was different too.
You start that way? Can you hear that one?
Let us continue.
let's go.
But we continuing on.
But-
I didn't really-
But
I
on
didn't
the,
really
on the
issues.
on the issue
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
on the issue of the fact that when we look at you're talking about these quarters, you're
Mhm.
talking about a number of things as it relates to how serious these things are
That's right.
in terms of loss of house, loss of life. 'Cause Dorian would have took some life in Bahamas as
Yeah,
well.
unfortunate.
I saw a gentleman on CNN that was talking about his wife would have
I
been.
think
Yeah.
that was at 17 or
That's-
something.
As reported, but
Yeah,
many
reported.
that was
And
really
they still,
sad.
I know Sedima deployed a large team as well. And
Quite unit.
the other thing that we want to touch on as well is that there are a number of organizations and Barbados in itself
Yeah.
are starting to rally to bring aid to these persons. I know the Democratic Labour Party, we've seen that they put out something to collect
Yeah, using the George Street auditorium.
as a pickup.
Very good initiative.
I mean,
again.
very good. And I applaud. And I say to Barbados,
Yeah.
please go there and support
and
whoever.
help us, not for us. You see, at the end of the day, we are trying to rally together as one
You know, right
to
now,
help others.
we should do a drive on this show
We can.
and try to get people to donate at least water or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
water. At least water. That's
Yeah.
a basic necessity. That's
Yeah,
a basic.
the BDF now is taking funds online as well, or you can call them on their numbers as well and take it. So I mean, listen, we got. I just thank God it isn't Barbados because after seeing some of those photos,
It's heartbreaking, man.
wow. I mean, and it's still picking up Florida to go in Florida.
When you see
worse than it hit.
but-
when you see
200 miles per
water
hour.
at the second floor, it was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
this
But I
is
think the
something.
reminder once
25
again.
feet, yeah, water.
True. I think the reminder once
I
again.
can't swim.
The reminder for us as a nation, Barbados, is we gotta take disaster preparedness seriously.
Definitely.
And I want to applaud the work of DM again
And
because the DEOs are being
the DEOs.
the district emergency organizations are being revived.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm chairman of the Christchurch West Central one. So
Correct.
I mean,
So
big-
community has a
big-
mapping. And you
yeah.
people know about that too, the money. Community has a mapping walk through.
From month before,
Mhm.
the DOs actually have water fields to
Good.
find out the vulnerable persons in society.
That's right.
And as for my area, which you were with the DO also, the minister, Miss Motley was also there.
Prime Minister
And
Motley.
they had, yes, and they had also had to clear some drains.
That's
Remember,
it.
if you recall, a couple months ago, they had a fire in Bush Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that was left back from that, which was taken away. I know through Whitehall, I had a pass and we saw a house that was there that was burnt as well.
Okay.
When they passed through during night, that was also removed. So we had to actually clear some areas. Even some personal buildings and houses.
This is the DOs that are doing this?
Yeah, the use of part along with the Prime Minister that had gotten this started up.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good, very
Yeah,
good.
So
oh,
what
yeah.
you guys, I've been in some discussions about disaster preparedness.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to one of the officers responsible for, and he mentioned the fact that we have not practiced our evacuation methods.
Yeah.
Plan, you mean the evacuation plan for British?
Yeah. Also, I want to raise the issue of our ports and the resilience for persons. Say if we had major flooding
Yeah.
inland, or for persons to get to the ports, to be able to get access to boating and what's not to other islands as well.
Mm-hmm.
I also raised the issue, just say we were destroyed in the hurricane.
Yeah.
If we had any arrangement with larger countries to host
Of
course,
Barbadians,
of course.
if we had to be destroyed.
Well, those are things that, from my knowledge, would
DMs.
actually happen. No one will actually make that agreement with you now. However, in the event of a disaster, people will rally to your support.
Of course.
People
But
will rally to your support.
but-
And
I don't think generally in a sense, a large sense, Barbados are even ready to move.
but you know,
I don't see anybody from many major countries saying, okay, we even as devastated as we are. I mean, I can still stand corrected as Grenada. I don't think any other than the person that was moved from the small island
Like
to the
from
large
the-
island. I don't think that even for me, if Barbados had to be here, I want back up on board. I want to stay here.
I want to stay
here.
But you
but,
recall,
but he raised a very valid point just now.
With the port and stuff like that.
Not only the port, the evacuation plan from Bridgetown.
Yeah.
Now on the big storm, it took me over an hour to get from I parked in the Jewish Synagogue car park.
Yeah.
To get from the
What
Jewish
time was
Synagogue
that?
car
What time was
park.
that?
This was
The
around.
during the time of the
Yeah, this was around
the
11
shutdown.
o'clock.
No, it
Shut
should have
down.
been off the roadside stand.
But no, but here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I actually got to the supermarket because like most markets.
Oh, but you were also
unprepared.
Oh, you were
I was
unprepared. You were
very
unprepared.
I was
Oh, yeah,
unprepared.
okay.
So the supermarket did business until about 11 o'clock. I will not call the name of the
That is
establishment.
not good.
Right? So I got out the supermarket near
Party
11.
coming.
And I rushed to my car because I don't want to be caught in the middle of no storm.
Oh really?
Right? Then I go into my car now. The traffic there back up. And I mean the traffic is back up till about 12:30.
Okay.
So in the event of a disaster, getting over Bridgetown,
But-
there's a
but-
serious gridlock.
Yeah, but don't forget the Bridgetown evacuation plan was not activated for the shutdown of Bridgetown, which is different. If there's a real evacuation plan, you'll be see that a
The
lot of
detours
roads become
will be-
one ways,
one-ways and-
detours, and the police will be there to manual and expedite
I think
traffic.
I remember too.
Yeah.
Looking at where our administration is now.
Which administration?
This current administration.
Oh, he said,
is-
oh, we're saying one, he's a bill, he's a bill.
No, I
He's
said
a business,
our,
he's a citizen, he's a
as
business.
long as
He's a
long as
business.
there's somebody BRD running the country, you're our administration.
That's right.
You're the
Regardless-
government of the country.
That's
yeah,
right.
you're our
That's
administration.
right.
So let's let's go.
Yeah, like Simon at 50.
Oh,
No, never.
And
Never.
under our
It is our country, our government. Yes.
under our current administration, remember, I think that seeing even as small as Dorian was when it was approaching
Mhm.
Barbados, the current administration took it
Very
very
seriously.
I can agree
It
with
is-
that.
it is
So
evident.
I
It is
know
evident.
for sure that
Some
what
of
I've heard is that
Yeah,
this current
yeah,
administration
yeah.
is also looking at what was missed
Yeah.
and they can pro and con kind of thing.
Mhm.
To take. So I know that if you sit and watch, nobody expected Dorian to be at the
Escalate, yeah,
category
at the guys.
he's at
It's
today.
true.
He left here as a storm.
Mhm.
He left here
Bro,
what
it was
100
small
and
storms.
100 and something.
60
And he was actually,
60 miles per hour, and he picked up.
he was actually quite small, called only 288 kilometers in a span.
Yeah, so no, he's
Initially.
huge.
Yeah.
You know, even Donald
also
Trump
won
wanted to
waters.
send
A nuke.
a nuke.
Yeah, so let's put Dorian into context.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact that Bahamas had the entire economy destroyed.
Yeah.
If that had to happen to Barbados, tourism is our nest egg, and if our egg is gone, that's.
Well, the whole thing is
our-
business
our-
continuity.
You pray that
Business
don't happen,
continuity.
but that is all I can tell
But,
you.
Yeah,
but this is where
a couple
we
measures
need
in
to,
place.
this is where we as a country need to be cognizant of the fact
Correct.
that we depend on tourism in a hurricane prone area, so we need
Mhm.
to start to diversify away from
Solely tourism.
solely
Mhm.
because if we have these natural disasters and the product is damaged,
But hold on, you said you need to diversify there, right? Now, the current government of Barbados, like the last government, looking at oil,
Mhm.
right?
All explorations.
All exploration, that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
as Simon says. Simon says. But
Mhm.
if a hurricane came to Barbados and you had an oil rig out there, but the hurricane later we oil rig too.
That insured no.
And well, I agree.
Yeah, insured by
But,
the
but
company.
the hotels insured too.
That's
The
right.
houses insured.
Some
but
of them.
now that you raised the issue of hotels, how do you feel about coastal building and the fact that we're about to launch a brand new or say a fresh set of hotels along the chain?
Mm.
Do you
It
suggest
was
that?
it was the former administration.
But regardless,
Regardless.
way of bailing us out of the economy.
No, that's not. Hold
Regardless
on,
of fact,
Kimar. That's not a fair comment
It
because
was.
hold on, it's not a fair comment.
It was the money that was dependent on
No, I will tell you why it's not a fair
$100
comment.
million.
I sat
US.
down in Barbados between 1994 and 2008 and saw
so
an
many-
administration did
so
the
many
same
hotels.
exact thing. So believe it or not, this issue of building hotels
Along
in this
coastal areas.
administration and along coastal areas, as Kimar is saying, is something that all governments do.
Mhm.
So I can be absolutely fair and say that what the former administration did in respect of trying to build their way out of the recession and do whatever they
Capital
were doing,
works projects,
some of the things
infrastructure.
that they were doing, I will give them kudos.
And
for
there
it.
you.
Yes, I will
That's a
give
good
them
one.
kudos for it.
No, that's a
They
good
were
one.
good projects,
It's a
and
good
I will
one.
back you for it.
It's a good one.
The
Yeah.
problem was the steel inside of them. You know, he begged to be steel.
Oh.
Like,
I have no rebut. I have no rebut to those allegations.
I want to hear your thoughts on the issue of coastal building, of coastal erosion.
once for me, I support any capital work project.
Yeah.
Once it is done properly, once it
Environmental
is
impact
done with
assessments.
the impact assessment, once it is needed, again, because not needed for every job.
That's right.
Once that we are going through all the regulation and there's no red tape, I know a big on the coast is like sewage problems.
Yeah.
So once that the
It's
thing,
gone away.
one of the biggest problems that I
No,
saw
I would
with
say that.
projects like those though, especially this same project that we're looking to implement in Bridgetown,
Which one?
is that
Accra as well.
and Accra, yeah.
Meaning
we
Accra.
won't call it the name of it because it's many projects supposed to be implemented on that stretch. But at the end of the day, my thing is once you're developing big projects like these,
Mhm.
it's not only how it impacts the environment, but how it's a part of the community
the people.
and the society at large, because you're building a building near an area such as Nelson Street and
Mhm.
which is like a low
Bay
poverty
Street.
area in Bay Street.
Mhm.
So what is the development for those? Are they the number one people for the jobs? Are their houses
it.
going to be impacted noise pollution?
Correct.
Was
You know,
this-
we had
was-
to move Portland my time because of noise pollution.
Correct.
That's
Was it
fantastic.
supposed
Not only
to be the
that,
same
but,
when London Born Towers were built?
Mhm.
Because you gotta be fair.
I'm not that old as you.
Along with that,
Mhm.
you gotta think about the sewage plant.
That's right.
You
Can
need
it
to
handle?
increase the how much they can handle.
But you know,
Frequent collection and
it's,
stuff like
it's
that.
interesting that you
Correct.
said talking about these sewage plant, right? Now I remember in this country there was a big hullabaloo by all sorts of people over the same project that you probably might be referring to now, but for some reason overnight that seemed to have settled under the water.
With a person.
As I said,
I'm not agreeing with you, Simon. But
as I said, Dorian came and he did not affect us. You know,
But going back to the whole issue with what Kimar is saying, sadly, when you're attracting international hotel brands,
yeah,
their prime area to build is always
On the
along
coastline.
coastal
Yeah.
areas. However, the whole issue of beach access, the whole issue of solid and liquid waste and its impact on the environment are the issues that have to be negotiated and sorted out. Because yes, you might have a hotel that might come and bring 1,000 jobs to Barbadians,
yeah.
but yet that same hotel over a 5-year period may be a contributor to a deterioration in the environment, and not only that too, it may be a situation too where for us as an island that is supposed to be water scarce,
Yeah.
you know, there's so much seepage and leakage that can happen into our water table. We have to be so careful.
Destroy the reefs as
And
well.
destroy
The coral reefs, the
Destroy
same
the-
coral reef that the tourists want to go and see and so on.
So what do you think about the sorry?
For tourists as well too, you know, the reefs play a very important
Protection.
part.
Coastline.
Barrier for Barbados.
Yeah, it's for tattoos and stuff.
Yes,
That's right.
So-
We can't handle any.
Because I know some countries know that literally have to build
Yeah, the
coral
artificial reef. They build
artificial
reefs.
reef just to
Artificial
protect
reef.
their own coastline.
That's right.
So basically, we're saying then that all of these incentives that you give way to these tourism developments, that in one hand you give them everything.
Give them most. of
No,
what
you,
they want.
well,
You gotta entice them to
well,
try to
ba-
come and
based on
invest.
based on what I saw being done by certain ministers of tourism and finance in this country, in one hand you give them everything.
You try to give them what they need.
Like you go
Base-
outside. Like you go outside of.
You try to give them what they need.
Based on
try to give them
what
what they
I
need.
saw from certain ministers of tourism and ministers of finance,
You try to give the investors what they need to operate at their maximum.
well, what they need or what you needed to get.
Right,
You
Jermaine?
give.
Yes, sir.
That minister wore sandals, right?
Yeah, I think he did. But
with a gem on his face.
but to be fair,
But-
you give away everything and you forget about the social impact on Barbados and the true monies that it would actually cost to more or less replenish what you're taking away, right? And you know, I would say that is an indictment on certain people, right? But you know, you would hope that a future would do something even 5% better is better than.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think at the end of the day, what we're all saying
Mhm.
is that as a small island, we have to focus on sustainable development.
I was
Well,
here now
develop-
10 years ago.
Whatever developmental model we take to carry Barbados forward
Mhm.
has to be sustainable. Has to be sustainable for the environment,
Yeah.
has to be sustainable for the people, has to be sustainable for those major stakeholders in the process.
Yeah, and
The
all,
gasification plant, that was sustainable.
I do believe that turning waste into fuel
Uh-huh.
is the way of the future. A lot of countries have waste to energy plants.
But killing 1,000 people around it.
I won't necessarily go as far as to say that without studies then you can't
Clearly.
without studies then you can't necessarily say what the impact of a gasification plant would be in Barbados. But 50 years from now or 25 years from now,
Mhm.
our children and so on have to consider what we're going to do with all the waste.
You also
that we
don't know
have.
what's
you know, you can probably take a page of this,
too.
this Singapore. Just want to
You mean
reiterate.
that is capitalist, sorry, that's a socialist country? A dictatorship?
Singapore has great sustainable plans.
But it's a socialist country.
Kimar,
Yeah.
before
Okay,
we
that's one.
before we get any farther, I want you to know that when you talk about Singapore,
Lovely
there,
country.
I know, but there are people who were given a script at their conference and said this is what you must say when it comes to Singapore. So you might hear certain people have certain views.
Okay.
Continue,
problem,
sir.
Just want to give the viewers a chance again. If you have any questions, to feel free to jump in our discussion. We're here with Jermaine Beckford in the yellow shirt. On my far right, we have Simon Ali next to him, his rival partner right now. Next to me is Kimar Stewart. And on my immediate left, we have the Manny Small and Kimar Safri. Again, the debrief is just a happy place to have a conversation, to talk about certain things as it relates to what's going on in society, what we think, what we want to break down. But the whole thing, this show cannot be made without you, without your comments, without your feedbacks, without your suggestion on how we can make the show better. We're now starting out. We'll be coming to you every single Wednesday. We're aiming for 6 o'clock on Wednesdays. and on Saturdays as well.
I think that's a possibility.
Or 2 o'clock, sorry.
Yeah, but
or
Wednesdays
2.
for sure. You know,
Wednesdays for sure. We're here. We're discussing all topics, every topic. Conversation. Just want to get it from a chat into a real environment, right? So we just wanna invite you in on our conversation for sure. But we put our main topic today on Dorian. It's not that we're not discussing other things, but we talked about Dorian today because it's a very serious topic. And then again, our prayers go out to Bahamas, and our prayers go out to our family in the United States of America, especially like it's now gonna land on Florida shortly. So that's something that we want to take heed to, and we want to appreciate, and send God's blessing to those people over there, and anything we can do here. But again, we discussed a number of things that the squad and the left, the hurricane had to come and whatnot, and we had heated discussions on it, share our views and where we thought that the administration went. And I said we commend the previous government, the government of today, for the initiative they took on keeping us really alerted as it pertains to Dorian, and we really we're really thankful for that. Yeah, you all ended. No, we still live. Yeah, so we're really thankful for that. And we will pray that, that's something that we continue seeing as a government and as it relates to natural disaster. We really want Barbados to heat to this serious. I really don't want we to have this laid back approach as, we didn't get hit. The fact of the matter, we were prepared, and that is important.
And the unfortunate thing about this whole situation is that that's the first hurricane.
Storm. Storm.
Well, storm that passes, but the
hurricane. The season it goes all the way on to November. Yeah, so we don't know what we can get. Remember that Thomas came in October.
This action time.
I agree. I also remember when Thomas came that the then government alerted Barbadians about it at about 12:30 night time.
No, the system had changed. Please. The system was being monitored, and remember before.
From China.
No. Y'all guys
clearly not from Barbados.
You got this wrong. If a system is being monitored, the Met Office monitors the system, then the information is relayed from the Met Office
to the
Minister of Home Affairs. We know that how it was.
Was the minister sober?
Please.
Come on. Listen.
All right.
Sure, was sleeping.
What?
Let's not
go on that road. What I'm saying is, and the same thing George W. Bush said, he got intelligence, and the intelligence told him that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction.
Be honest, he was not up for that intelligence.
I'm saying to you.
Prime Minister Stewart, by the way.
Right. What I'm saying is that there was an information gap, and I agree with you. But I'm not trying to throw stones or to cause any kind of conflict.
But you're not throwing big guns, bro.
But no, what I would say is that the communication, there was a bit of a communication breakdown. However, this time around, the situation was managed quite well. And as I said, I give jacket. But there are other issues that are in this country that will have to be discussed at a later date.
Yes, DeBrief will be bringing those issues.
You got a lot of issues too.
And Barbados, you bring those issues as well.
Of course.
Simon is here. We want to congratulate him as well as taking on the second vice president of the Democratic Labour Party. We must always commend our young people. And just to give you a brief of who is here as well, we got Keith Morris-Stewart, who took on Mayor Molly in the last election, and
brave young man, boy.
Blessed my heart to see that young people like us were not afraid. We stepped out. German finance guy, anything finance, everything finance. We have Damani, who is the entrepreneur.
Still querying German.
He's still querying the money. Yeah. You want some papers, man?
So we do have a mixture of what we have here to give to you. We're winding down now into our last couple minutes of the show.
It was a good
conversation.
I'm not trying to get into issues and
Yeah, it was a good show, but we don't want to bore the hell out of Barbadians with all our faces. But it's a good show. I really enjoyed myself today. I really enjoyed speaking with the gentlemen and topics. And as I said, we will be bringing much more topics to you.
Right.
Saturday here again. Stay tuned. Please like the DeBrief page.
Share the link.
Share the link, share the likes, whatever the case may be. so that we can actually, more and more push this out there so people can join us for the conversation. We'll be bringing some people live on the show as well. That
Look forward to that.
We could be bringing people live, talking to people with any background. We want to thank Alexis.
Thank you.
Thank you for and
Kieran, man.
For technical support.
That's right.
To make sure that the show is stable and good. And I also want to thank again Jeremy CBC for allowing us to use their beautiful studio room. Again, we want to thank Jeremy and Beckford in the yellow on my far right. Simon next to him, Aline, Kimar Stewart, the Manny Paris and Kimar Shafi. Gentlemen, any you're small.
No, it's small.
I'm far from being the money person.
What does that mean?
It's my humble apologies, sir. Gentlemen, any closing comment coming straight around?
Yes, I what I would say, we were talking about disaster preparedness. I would urge every Barbadian that in light of what we have seen as a beginning from Dorian, which passed Barbados, luckily, but it has gone to our Caribbean sister country, Bahamas, and destroyed it. I would urge Barbadians to take when we get warnings about these systems, take the warnings very seriously. We may not be hit today, but we don't know where we will be tomorrow, and we have to be cognizant of the fact that anything can happen. So take the warnings seriously.
Correct.
When the Prime Minister and her team speaks, listen and do what you know you have to do.
Correct.
In terms of your houses, ensure that you are insured and ensure that you safeguard your assets, because believe it or not, most people can only build one house in life. So
That's right.
you have, unlike, well, I'm not going to say that, but take what you have seriously and do what you have to do. And Simon, I know you would say the same.
Yeah, definitely. What I would want to appeal to is the whole aspect of personal preparedness and community preparedness. Remember, it's okay to say that, well, is the MTW responsible to clear drains and blah, blah. Yes, the MTW might be doing that in other areas and may not have gotten to you. It is your personal responsibility as a homeowner, or if you're in a home that you're renting from a landlord, make sure you talk to the landlord and find out if their house is insured and so on, because it's in your interest to ensure your safety. I want to commend the communities out there who we would have seen in the media going out there doing debushing, clearing drains. Some were actually led by members of parliament, which was commendable, and others were just community groups that came together. Community preparedness is important because at the end of the day, you're your brother's keeper. So as it relates to disaster preparedness, remember it is your personal responsibility. Work together hand in hand with those in your community.
Yes. Well, want just to express my appreciation for the different organizations responsible for disaster preparedness.
Yeah.
DEM for sure.
I also want to give a huge and one congrats to our soldiers as well, our police officers, our civil servants. I don't think they get enough credit for the work they do as it relates to
That's right.
Definitely not.
when hurricanes pass, when we have disasters. These gentlemen are usually the first on call and they're there at the drop of a hat. So I think we should, give
That's
them
right.
a hand. We as citizens also should be cognizant of the fact that we don't know when we're going to be hit, as Jeremy said. So we definitely need to take some personal responsibility.
That's right.
Ensure home safety, get the appropriate mechanisms for protecting your home as well. Do whatever you can do.
Yeah.
Clear the drains around, chop down some of the branches,
trim the trees.
and the trees, whatever, and just get involved in your own safety however you can. Join different organizations that are about. One thing that we didn't get to mention though is the issue of communication. If the lines are down and no communications up, I know they usually have the walkie-talkie systems.
Sure. Citizens by radio, ECDRA.
I
That's
think you
right.
have to
Kudos to them.
apply to governments for the license to operate one of those.
Yeah.
Right. So I would encourage persons, if they can, to actually apply for a license and to get one of those radios in your home, get the appropriate training and what's not, and pass that knowledge on to your children as well, so that in the future they will have something to.
Just to add one small point to that, there are a lot of neighborhood watches across Barbados, and as you said, you gotta be a brother's keeper. So it would be good if particularly the neighborhood watches themselves had their own sets of radios, because in the event of a catastrophe, the first set of people you're looking out for is those directly around you.
Alright, the money, you have any?
I just want to thank all the viewers. But in relation to a storm passing Barbados, I think one of our major issues is flooding. And we just got to get a couple minutes of rainfall and the country is flooded. And I think all governments that we had before neglected maintenance in the country. And I think we need to do more in terms of maintenance wise, in terms of not only the buildings, but in terms of clearing drains, doing more debushing, and not waiting to the last minute and to do these things.
Yeah.
I passed and saw guys from the community clearing a drain.
Yeah.
Thank God enough rainfall because that particular area floods, and they did it. And you could see the water streaming going in. I have videos of that, but we think we need to do more in terms of that kind of maintenance in the country.
Yeah, definitely my views will be on, I really want to thank the Met Office, the DEM,
Yes.
the BDF, the police, and all of those awesome organizations that would have kept us really abreast of what's going on, all those people that actually stood up late as well.
Even the broadcasters at CBC as well.
And the radio announcers.
That's right.
And as I said, I really want us to take a page from Dorian. The reason why is because it passed us as a baby. And it went out to be an adult, and
monster,
a
man.
monster at it. So I really want, and any way you guys can support other people that are sending down things, just keep abreast, keep an ear of what is being sent down at this point. Follow all the channels, all the people that are willing to give, and give. If you have the slightest little thing, I don't see why you can't give.
But your organization, the Barbados Bureaucrats and Homeless Society, by chance y'all going to be receiving things to send out?
We have been asked to be a drop-off point, but because we're moving to our new shelter now, we'll be scattering, so we don't want to take the responsibility of it. However, we stand ready to send about 20 bars of clothing. So we are here to give as well, and we will be doing our part. We have some waters and stuff that I think we have over 500 cases. So we had them for hurricane, but I think there'll be more needed in Bahamas.
That's right.
So once we get the all clear of what is going to be needed, and I've seen lists, I said they've seen the Democratic Labour Party. JS have also put out things through the BDF and really want. So other persons are mobilizing things. I've also spoken to some white people in Bahamas, and they've also given me links that I can send to as well to label the barrels and make sure they go to certain communities. Okay. So I mean we are doing, but working together, because at this point it cannot be politicized. It cannot be about just one person. So I think that we will do our best wherever we can do our best, and wherever Barbados can do their best, they can do. But take this seriously, though. I think this is a learning lesson. I've never really been waked up as it pertains to a lot of hurricanes, but this one wake me up because this is a hurricane that I can say that passed through me, but passed through me with small and now it's gigantic, and so it's something to think about. What if that was? What if that was? I look at Bahamas and said, what if that was been? Yeah, so it is so much to take from it, and stuff like that, and there's so much input. You have a question?
They're saying you can't hear what you're saying clearly. You need a better microphone system.
Sorry.
Speak louder.
Sorry, I may have to speak a little louder, or ask the text to just carry the volume on the mic there for me. But sorry about that. We happy for the feedback as well. So, but I was saying that we need to take it seriously. We need to look at what is going on in our community and really take this seriously, because we've seen the impact on our families and our brothers and sisters, and we all Caribbean people. We all want Caribbean. So look at this, what's happening with Dorian, and then see what we can learn from it. But if you have anything, rather than being political, I don't care who's collecting, but you can get to the nearest collect point, drop off point, whatever.
Thus far, the connection point is the Democratic Party headquarters.
That is, other people are mobilizing, other organizations too are mobilizing. So keep your ears pierced. If you see them on your WhatsApp, share them, and what's not, so that people can know.
I just want to, because I have some stuff I want to drop off. I will take it to them headquarters.
Drop it off where we have to drop it off.
It's a Michael Street auditorium.
I know the University of the West Indies as well.
They're collecting as well. So if you hear anything,
you should repeat that.
Repeat what you were saying.
Like University of the West Indies as well, through the guild of students, they'll be actually doing collections as well for the Bahamian. We have a wide cross section of Bahamian students on the campus in Barbados. Also, my personal organization, the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International, they'll be doing a drive as well to send stuff to the Bahamas. So if you can get in contact with either organization, the Democratic Labour Party or the University of the West Indies through the Guild or the Full Gospel Businessman Fellowship, we stand ready to assist you if you.
But just
I'm
give
also,
us.
I'm also seeing there's a Fresh Fire Kingdom International. Is located at 28 Pine Commercial Center, Village St. Michael, which is behind CBC. The telephone number is 843-1982. That's 843-1982. They're also a drop-off location.
So we have to
Wonderful.
ensure that we have to ensure that we support the people of Bahamas because
Correct.
in the event is us,
They will
need
come to
support.
our
they
aid.
will come to our aid.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
remember to look at the items that the people are asking for.
Yeah,
You know, and
definitely.
Let's
send
not bring
your
the whole
best.
thing. Say your best, man.
Say your best. Don't just send whatever you feel like out there to the people.
I think what we could do is probably post it on our page.
Yeah, we post them on our page, on our DeBrief page, and you can definitely share today. So we've all given our closing statement as it relates to this. As I said, we're really happy to be here. We are all taking time out of our time just to bring topics to you. If you have topics that you want us to talk about, send it to the messaging system. Contact us if you know us on our personal page. Jeremy Beckford, Simon Allen, Kimar Stewart, Kimar Safri. The man is small,
Not Paris.
not biased, to be able to get topics. We will be coming to you every single Wednesday and Saturday, and we will be bringing hard conversation. We're just going to be bringing it out there. We're going to be respectful, but we're going to be making sure that whatever it is that we have to say and get out there, we're going to bring it. So we want to thank all the lovely viewers. The viewing has been steady on it. We've been seeing large numbers. So we think that we did a really good job for the first show.
First time, yeah. Kudos.
We want to bring what we also want to do. We're going to have guests.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to highlight a little business for every 5 minutes. So if you have a business out there you want it to be highlighted, message us on the DeBrief page or message us personally, and we will bring that and we will highlight your business for 5 minutes because we want to push entrepreneurship.
That's right.
We want to push young people, of course. So if you have issues, if you have a business and you just want us to tell us about a brand, if you feel free to bring the drinks and drop it off here.
Anything.
I want sample,
And bring the sample, we sample it on the show. If you have a little eats and thing and you want us to taste and talk about it, we'll give you 5
Some be
minutes.
careful give you them though.
Yeah, 5 minutes, yes, to make sure we just talk about you. Just share about you and your business and
That's
what's
so
going
good.
on and
That's
stuff
very
like that.
good.
If you have issues in your area, this show is going to get big. People are going to follow. So if you have issues that you have things that you want to highlight, somebody that not having water, just like you do with normal shows, and you want us to
Bring
do
the
somebody.
issues to us.
Bring
Yeah,
issues.
yeah,
And we will not be sugarcoating nothing
We'll
on
talk
this show.
about it. We will be controlling the volume though.
Yeah,
So Barbados, we want to thank you, and I want to say a blessed good night to you and everyone out there, and thank you for viewing.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Until when? Until
Thank you.
Saturday.
Yeah, man.
DeBrief.
DeBrief.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thanks. Good night. Goodbye. God
night.
bless.
Thank you.
Bye.